I want to take you now to Dallas, Texas. Shelley Luther was a woman here in Texas, or she still is, but she's now in jail. And she's never had a run-in with a law. She's not a revolutionary. She's just a salon owner. And she got to a point where she couldn't keep her salon closed anymore. We have created a black market. I mean, this is why these things never work. There's a black market. You can go get your hair cut. Somebody will come to your house and cut your hair. People are getting their hair cut. So we're now making people into criminals. So she's going to lose her business. People on her staff were having a hard time feeding their children. They needed the money. So last week, we now know, because of yesterday, that salons are open in Texas on Friday. So she was a week early. She opens it up. She gets a court order immediately because this is what she says. I don't know this for sure, but she said that the one who had lodged the complaint was the store owner, a couple of doors down, which was a dog grooming place, which was open. So it was cool to have your dog groomed, but you couldn't groom. So she gets a court order, and she says, no, I'm not going to do it. And she gets a cease and desist order from a judge. She is on television, and she rips it up. Well, that really pissed off the judge. And, we're not a system of laws anymore. We're a system of men. How dare you, quote, defile a cease and desist order by ripping it up? How dare you? You don't believe me? Listen to the judge yesterday when she was hauled in front of court and sentenced to jail. Listen to the arrogance of this judge.
That you now see the error of your ways and understand that the society cannot function where one's own belief in a concept of liberty permits you to flaunt your disdain for the rulings of duly elected officials. That you owe an apology to the elected officials whom you disrespected by flagrantly ignoring and in one case defiling their orders, which you now know obviously applies to you. That you understand that the proper way in which in an ordered society to engage concerns which you may have had is to hire a lawyer and advocate for change, an exception or an amendment to laws that you find offensive. That you publicly state that this is the way that citizens in the state should behave. And that you represent I can't
take it. I can't take it. She has to apologize. You notice he says that you defiled their order. It was your order. What do you have, a mouse in your pocket? There is no they in that. You issued the order. You were offended that she ripped it up. And so now you want an apology, a public apology. You want to shame her. And now you're putting her in jail because of, quote, her arrogance and her selfishness. Oh, she's selfish. Well, then the judge said to her, do you have anything to say before I sentence you? And she said, yes, I do. Here is her comment.
Judge, I would like to say that I have much respect for this court and laws. And that I've never been in this position before. And it's not some place that I want to be. But I have to disagree with you, sir, when you say that I'm selfish, because feeding my kids is not selfish. I have hairstylists that are going hungry because they'd rather feed their kids. So, sir, if you think the law is more important than kids getting fed, then please go ahead with your decision, but I am not going to shut the salon.
He looks away from her when she says, I have to disagree with you. He is so pissed off at her I don't even recognize this. What are you doing? What the hell is our country doing right now? This is a woman who doesn't have a record. She's not a troublemaker. She's been forced to close her business. She's going out of business. She has no money. Her salon workers have no money. She obeyed for how many weeks? 6? There are many Americans who believe that we should have shut things down. We had no handle, this is my belief, we had no handle on this disease. We had no idea what we were headed towards. I told you, it's not about the death, it's about overwhelming the system. We can't overwhelm the system because it would be total chaos. Well, we didn't overwhelm the system. We did our job, and we did it voluntarily. You didn't have to tell us. We did it voluntarily. You should have suggested it. And now what are you doing? When we have had enough, not in New York, not in a hot spot in Los Angeles, but in places where it's, do you know that if you talk to the hospitals and the nurses here in Dallas, Texas, you know they're laying people off, nurses, doctors. So we didn't overwhelm the system. We have the capacity. People are not going to go out and be crazy because nobody wants to die and nobody wants to kill anybody else. You know, and there's always going to be stupid people out there. I don't think she's stupid, but there always will be stupid people. Always. And I don't have a right to be kept safe. In fact, I don't want you to lock me into a room to keep me safe. Anyone who is taking away my rights of freedom, I'm here at my house. I'm self-quarantined. But you're forcing me, and then out of your arrogance, you think you're more important than people feeding their kids. You think you're more important than a lifetime of dreams gone down the crapper. Wiping your family out. This is what's happening in America. Families are being wiped out. And everybody cries about, oh my gosh, well, if you went to Harvard, I can't expect to be paying that back. I'll never get out of debt. Well, where's the outcry of this? Oh, I know. Yeah, it's coming from Nancy Pelosi, because what Nancy Pelosi wants is the power. Otherwise, give us a frickin' tax cut. You've already made unemployment, which, by the way, in many states, still people can't get their unemployment, still haven't had their unemployment check. And the arrogance of governors like Cuomo, what comes out and says, well, then go get an essential workers job. Screw you, Cuomo. Where is the arrogance of these people? And by the way, they all think they're above it. They all do. I mean, we have the other Cuomo brother who was self-quarantined in his basement and lecturing all of us how you have to stay in. But he was outside. He was caught outside when he was supposed to be self-quarantined in his basement. He wasn't. In fact, a passerby, a biker went, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be quarantined? Don't you have the coronavirus? Yeah, shut up. Are you kidding me? Now, I don't know if you heard it, that Niles Ferguson, the guy who got the UK to shut everything down, he was the guy who came out from Oxford and said, oh, man, it's millions will die. Okay, all right. So at the time, we thought that was pretty legitimate. He's a legitimate guy. Did you see that he resigned yesterday because he wasn't self-quarantining. He decided that he was going to go have a sexual affair with a married woman who lives at home with her husband and 2 children. If you believe this, what are you're trying to kill her and her children and her husband? No, they're above it. They're above it. That's for everybody else. That's the little people. Well, maybe in merry old England, but not here in America. I agree with the quarantine. I do not agree that we are not balancing this with common sense and an understanding of what we've done to the economy. And when I say the economy, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about people's dreams. I'm talking about people's ability to have money, to be able to feed themselves. What is it? A right to life, liberty. Oh, and the pursuit of happiness. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely obscene.